that nature. And
Traci Braxton husband, y'all. I want y'all to listen to her husband.
They did everything they can to try to divide us. And I just tell Traci what goes on with us. It's important that we balance it to the best of our ability. Now, me primarily growing up an only child, Sherelle, I knew how to balance myself. Those sisters, they're from my stepfather. So, but they've always embraced us. And so that's the love that I've always gotten. And I expect to get it from my in-laws too. But it was hard. So as far as me and why they had a problem with me, I don't know to the day. Because, if they say it's because I cheated on my wife, if you watch Marriage Boot Camp, Traci clearly sat beside me and said, we both had infidelity. We both went through that process of healing from the infidelity that we went through. But another thing I took on Sherelle, if no one, like you guys have been married for decades, I wasn't letting nobody come into my marriage on my part if you hadn't stood on those grounds. I'm sorry, you can't come in and talk about a situation and you haven't even lived it. Myself and Traci lived it, no matter good, bad, and indifferent. We lived it to death did us part. So I don't get caught up in those narratives, and I bat it down. Excuse my French. Nah, I ain't gonna curse. I bat it down as much as I can.
I can relate to that. My husband has 8 brothers and sisters. And they just, because they were so close, they thought that they could get in our business all the time. So I get where you're coming from. I do. It's hard to balance that. All right. So do you know anything about Traci's tape phone calls with her attorney?
No.
Ooh.
I told you, that time they were doing stuff when I wasn't around.
Oh, okay. So this will, I hate to talk about this, but we got to address it. The sisters didn't go to the funeral. What happened during that time? Why weren't they there? And I was told that Michael Jr. and the father was there. What went on? What was that all about?
So, with the service,
they didn't go to the funeral.
That was mentioned. If the question was, Sherelle, do you have the money for the funeral? I wanted to see how everybody was going to process this. Traci was a member of the Grammys committee and the DC chapter, and our publicist had already taken care of the arrangements for the funeral. So the arrangements already taken care of, and the Grammy committee supported that process. But they were trying to see where I was at. Saying much on that Zoom call because I felt like it was an ambush. I didn't have anything to talk about. Because if you wasn't supporting me, why am I on this call talking about?
Right. Kevin, can you hear me?
I had went through so much. I got a call too. Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, it's choppy. Keep going.
Everybody had been choppy today.
Yeah, you're freezing.
I received the call. I just want to say this shit. I'm trying to, let me see, the position is. How's this?
Better, go ahead.
All right, so I received the call.
This is Traci Braxton's husband.
I'm literally sitting.
They arguing about insurance policies and different stuff,
So I got a call from the attorney, and the attorney said, it was 10 minutes after she passed, 10 to 15 minutes. I need to read something to you according to the will. Wait a minute. I'm on the phone, and he reads something. I was like, I don't even know what it was, because I just lost my wife. It's the behavior I started dealing with as soon as she passed. An hour after she left, an hour after she passed, I was in the room for 2 hours by myself with my wife, waiting for the funeral home to come. Nobody stayed with me. So I just look at stuff like that, and then I'm getting this call Then the next day, saying it's going to be a Zoom call. I'm still processing my wife's death. I'm not even, really talking to people. I'm trying to process. Then I got to take care of my son at the same time. And all I'm getting is, what you going to do? What's going on with this? Blah, blah, blah. No, not supporting the process. So let's go back to your initial question. We've been out. We knew what she wanted. She wanted one viewing, a private viewing. And we set that up with the funeral home that she had put in place. Traci made me talk to the funeral home director when I didn't want to. So the funeral home director came to my house and we talked privately. And she said, this is what Traci wants. I kept telling her I wasn't there yet, but okay. So I executed everything that Traci wanted, from the private viewing, which was set up for my in-laws, at the funeral home that my father-in-law had used for his mother, father, brother, sister, and other family members on the Braxton side. So one thing about this funeral home, they know all the Braxtons. So then this narrative came out that my father-in-law wasn't on the list. My sister that you talked to, she was my coordinator. She knew my father-in-law. She was at the door. Her and the funeral home director knew my father-in-law. You still there, Sherelle? You froze. Okay. So all this stuff that's taking place is just really, I feel like, trying to just kind of disturb me in this process of grieving my wife. But I was working through it. And so I worked through it, and then I was able to make sure everybody was good. And then my father-in-law and brother-in-law did come in to the private viewing. And this was the last time we had Traci's body. She was beautiful that day. Me and my son made sure she looked excellent for her final viewing. And we also FaceTime my mother-in-law, sister-in-laws, and all I had them on the phone. And they saw her on FaceTime and said she was beautiful in the initial looking at her. So the private viewing, we had everything set up for everybody to come in. And it was a no-show. Now, I expected to have them for that. The private viewing. It was a no-show. I had that row set up, so a lot of people, I had security there, so a lot of people wouldn't bother them. You know what I mean? It's not the time or place. So I made sure I invited people who understood that, and they never showed up. So I kept things moving, and the celebration was the second thing that she was okay with. Now, she asked that we don't do any Zeta rights, because when you're in a sorority, you have rights, and Virgil rights, memorial rights, whatever you call it. And then Masonic entity, she also has that right. And in our motorcycle entity, she had that right. She didn't want that. So that didn't happen. All people did was come and speak on it. That's it. And that's what that celebration was. Because Traci, she poured into so many people. She met so many people on different levels. I used to tell her she overdo it. We can be in Ruby Tuesdays and she got a baby in her arms. I said, Traci, you can't sit at the bar with this baby, Traci. You can't do that. But he just wanted to hold me. So she was just a giving spirit.
She was. So, I could tell she was.
I want to celebrate her.
I really could. She was different from all of them.
That touched a lot of people. And the people that couldn't make it, And one thing about Traci Shabira, we had a party for Traci almost every year. April the 2nd, that winter, we went a birthday party every year. So we always celebrated each other. We always did that. She gave me a big 50th birthday. So we always celebrated each other. And that's what we did. So in this last rites of her life, I wanted to celebrate her just like we've always done. Unfortunately, everybody didn't make it to all these birthday events that we had for her. But that's cool. But she was a light that needed light shined on her. I was not, I'm going to say this and I'm going to close on this one, which is subject. I was not going to celebrate my wife on a minor level, because what I seen her go through, from her depression to the elevation of meeting all of her dreams and aspirations.
She did.
I saw she did it, Sherelle. And I'm just not gonna give her nothing willy nilly. I'm sorry. I suffer bigger than that, and I thank God for it. To death do us part.
It's so.
All right, to death do they part. If you want to watch the rest of this, you can go to Sherelle World. Yeah, it's quite sad. It makes your heart break. You know, Traci Braxton husband, Calvin Surratt Sr., you know, he's talking about how the Brysons is mistreating him. And I've been watching the Brysons episodes. Yes, they is going through something because Traci didn't leave her husband anything. She left everything to Calvin Jr. Calvin Jr. got everything. The attorney record Traci while she was going through her transition of life. Because, you know, like I said, when people go through transition, they still be in their right mind till they completely go and their brain just shut down. And their body just shut down. They're not able to talk no longer. They're not able to speak because they transition into that other life. I've seen it happen 3 times with 2 of my girlfriends, with 3 of my girlfriends, and one with one of my nephews. So, you know, my heart goes out to Calvin Sr. And I hope the Brystons will come around, and I hope his son do right by him. But, you know, Sherelle World is interviewing him. And I just tuned in to just to get some of it. I don't know if y'all will watch it or whatever. But this is it. And y'all enjoy your Monday. Bye.